Question 1. What was the purpose of the Statute of Rhuddlan in 1284? A. To establish English law in Wales. B. To annex Scotland into England. C. To declare Welsh independence. D. To unify the English Church. Answer. A. To establish English law in Wales. The Statute of Rhuddlan in 1284 was enacted to establish English law and administration in territories conquered by Edward I in Wales. Question 2. Who established the Church of England, and in which year? A. Queen Elizabeth I in 1558. B. King Henry VIII in 1534. C. King James I in 1603. D. King Charles I in 1625. Answer. B. King Henry VIII in 1534. King Henry VIII established the Church of England in 1534 after his break with the Roman Catholic Church, primarily to secure an annulment of his marriage to Catherine of Aragon. Question 3. Which monarch succeeded Queen Victoria? A. King Edward VII. B. King George V. C. Queen Elizabeth II. D. King Edward VIII. Answer. A. King Edward VII. King Edward VII succeeded Queen Victoria following her death in 1901, marking the beginning of the Edwardian era. Question 4. What key event marked the beginning of the English Civil War? A. The signing of the Magna Carta. B. The execution of Charles I. C. The Battle of Naseby. D. The royal assent to the Petition of Right. Answer. D. The royal assent to the Petition of Right. The royal assent to the Petition of Right in 1628, which King Charles I was forced to accept, marked escalating tensions that led to the English Civil War. Question 5. In what year was the Magna Carta originally signed? A. 1066. B. 1215. C. 1381. D. 1605. Answer. B. 1215. The Magna Carta was originally signed in 1215 by King John at Runnymede, establishing foundational legal principles in England. Question 6. Who was the British Prime Minister at the outbreak of World War I? A. Winston Churchill. B. Neville Chamberlain. C. Herbert Asquith. D. David Lloyd George. Answer. C. Herbert Asquith. Herbert Asquith was the British Prime Minister at the outbreak of World War I in 1914. Question 7. What was the main outcome of the Glorious Revolution? A. The establishment of the Commonwealth. B. The restoration of the monarchy. C. The abdication of James II. D. The beginning of the Tudor period. Answer. C. The abdication of James II. The main outcome of the Glorious Revolution in 1688 was the abdication of James II, which led to the establishment of a constitutional monarchy under William and Mary. Question 8. Name the act that officially abolished slavery throughout the British Empire. A. The Emancipation Act of 1833. B. The Slavery Abolition Act of 1833. C. The Freedom Act of 1833. D. The Liberation Act of 1833. Answer. B. The Slavery Abolition Act of 1833. The Slavery Abolition Act of 1833 officially abolished slavery throughout the British Empire, leading to eventual emancipation. Question 9. Which British explorer is credited with the first circumnavigation of the globe? A. Sir Francis Drake. B. James Cook. C. Charles Darwin. D. John Cabot. Answer A. Sir Francis Drake. Sir Francis Drake is credited with the first circumnavigation of the globe, completed in 1580, which solidified England's naval supremacy. Question 10. Who was the longest reigning monarch before Queen Elizabeth II? A. King George III. B. Queen Victoria. C. King Henry VIII. D. Queen Elizabeth I. Answer B. Queen Victoria. Queen Victoria was the longest reigning monarch before Queen Elizabeth II, serving from 1837 to 1901. Question 11. What major reform did the Reform Act of 1832 bring about? A. Women's suffrage. B. Abolition of the slave trade. C. Expansion of the electoral franchise. D. Establishment of the welfare state. Answer C. Expansion of the electoral franchise. The Reform Act of 1832 significantly expanded the electoral franchise, allowing a greater number of men to vote and modernizing the British electoral system. Question 12. Which battle marked the defeat of the Spanish Armada? A. The Battle of Trafalgar. B. The Battle of Waterloo. C. The Battle of Agincourt. D. The Battle of Gravelines. Answer D. The Battle of Gravelines. The Battle of Gravelines in 1588 marked the defeat of the Spanish Armada by the English fleet, a pivotal moment in naval warfare. Question 13. In what year did the Great Fire of London take place? A. 1666. B. 1566. C. 1766. D. 1466. Answer A. 1666. The Great Fire of London occurred in 1666, devastating much of the medieval city and leading to major urban redevelopment. Question 14. Who was the first female Member of Parliament to take a seat in the House of Commons? A. Emmeline Pankhurst. B. Margaret Thatcher. C. Nancy Astor. D. Barbara Castle. Answer C. Nancy Astor. Nancy Astor was the first female Member of Parliament to take a seat in the House of Commons in 1919. Question 15. What significant event occurred in British history in 1066? A. The signing of the Magna Carta. B. The Black Death. C. The Norman Conquest. D. The establishment of the Church of England. Answer C. The Norman Conquest. The Norman Conquest of England began in 1066, a defining moment that had profound effects on the country's development. Question 16. Who were the main combatants in the Battle of Hastings? A. The French and the English. B. The Normans and the Saxons. C. The Vikings and the Scots. D. The Romans and the Britons. Answer B. The Normans and the Saxons. The main combatants in the Battle of Hastings in 1066 were the Normans, led by William the Conqueror, and the Saxons, led by King Harold II. Question 17. What was the primary reason for the establishment of the Commonwealth of Nations? A. To maintain colonial influence. B. To foster trade relationships. C. To create a political and economic alliance. D. To coordinate mutual defense. Answer A. To maintain colonial influence. The primary reason for establishing the Commonwealth of Nations was to maintain influence and ties between Britain and its former colonies in a non-political framework. Question 18. What document is known as the foundational constitutional document of the United Kingdom? A. The Magna Carta. B. The Bill of Rights. C. The Act of Union. D. The Royal Charter. Answer A. The Magna Carta. The Magna Carta, signed in 1215, is often considered the foundational constitutional document of the United Kingdom, influencing the development of the legal system and parliamentary democracy. Question 19. Who was the British Prime Minister during the Suez Crisis? A. Winston Churchill. B. Anthony Eden. C. Harold Wilson. D. Margaret Thatcher. Answer B. Anthony Eden. Anthony Eden was the British Prime Minister during the Suez Crisis in 1956, which was a pivotal moment in post-war British foreign policy. Question 20. What significant medical discovery was made by Alexander Fleming? A. The smallpox vaccine. B. Penicillin. C. The polio vaccine. D. Insulin. Answer B. Penicillin. Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin in 1928, revolutionizing the field of medicine by introducing the age of antibiotics. Question 21. When was the National Health Service established? A. 1948. B. 1958. C. 1968. D. 1978. Answer A. 1948. The National Health Service, NHS, was established in 1948 to provide healthcare services funded by taxation, available to all UK residents. Question 22. Which law officially ended the feudal system in England? A. The Statute of Merton. B. The Statute of Westminster. C. The 10 Years Abolition Act. D. The Quia Emptors. Answer C. The 10 Years Abolition Act. The 10 Years Abolition Act in 1660 officially ended the feudal system in England, altering land tenure and services. Question 23. What is the significance of the Battle of Britain in World War II? A. It marked the first defeat of Hitler's military forces. B. It was the largest naval battle of the war. C. It resulted in the liberation of Paris. D. It was a crucial air battle that determined control of British airspace. Answer D. It was a crucial air battle that determined control of British airspace. The Battle of Britain in 1940 was significant as it prevented Germany from gaining air superiority, crucial for their planned invasion of Britain. Question 24. Who was responsible for commissioning the Domesday Book and why? A. King John to assess the wealth of his nobles. B. King Henry VIII to reform the monasteries. C. King Edward I to catalogue his conquests. D. William the Conqueror to assess the extent of his lands and resources. Answer D. William the Conqueror to assess the extent of his lands and resources. The Domesday Book was commissioned by William the Conqueror in 1086 as a comprehensive survey for tax purposes and to assert control over his new kingdom. Question 25. What treaty formally ended the Revolutionary War between America and Britain? A. The Treaty of Paris. B. The Treaty of Versailles. C. The Treaty of Ghent. D. The Treaty of London. Answer A. The Treaty of Paris. The Treaty of Paris, signed in 1783, formally ended the Revolutionary War, recognizing American independence from Britain. Question 26. What pivotal role does the Speaker of the House of Commons play? A. They serve as the national spokesperson for the government. B. They maintain order and oversee proceedings in the House of Commons. C. They represent the UK in international parliaments. D. They manage the UK's foreign policies. Answer: B. They maintain order and oversee proceedings in the House of Commons. The Speaker's primary role is to ensure that debates proceed smoothly and are conducted in an orderly manner. Question 27. Who was the first British monarch of the House of Windsor? A. King Edward VII. B. King George V. C. Queen Elizabeth II. D. King Edward VIII. Answer: B. King George V. King George V was the first monarch of the House of Windsor, renaming the royal house from the House of Saxe-Coburg and Gotha in 1917 due to anti-German sentiment during World War I. Question 28. What is the historical significance of the Battle of Agincourt? A. It was the last battle of the English Civil War. B. It marked the beginning of the Tudor dynasty. C. It was a decisive victory in the 100 Years' War for England. D. It ended Scottish independence. Answer: C. It was a decisive victory in the 100 Years' War for England. The Battle of Agincourt in 1415 is historically significant due to the use of the English longbow, which led to a major victory against a numerically superior French army. Question 29. Who is known for his Iron Curtain speech, and what does it signify? A. Winston Churchill. It signified the start of the Cold War. B. Franklin D. Roosevelt. It represented the division of Berlin. C. Harry S. Truman. It was about the creation of NATO. D. Joseph Stalin. It marked the expansion of communism. Answer: A. Winston Churchill. It signified the start of the Cold War. Churchill's Iron Curtain speech in 1946 highlighted the division of Europe into Western, democracy, and Eastern, communist, blocs, marking the beginning of Cold War tensions. Question 30. What Act was passed in response to the Great Smog of London? A. The Clean Air Act 1956. B. The Pollution Control Act 1956. C. The Environmental Protection Act 1957. D. The Smog Abatement Act 1955. Answer: A. The Clean Air Act 1956. The Clean Air Act was passed in response to the Great Smog of 1952, which caused significant health issues and fatalities in London to reduce air pollution. Question 31. Who was the leader of the suffragettes? A. Nancy Astor. B. Emmeline Pankhurst. C. Margaret Thatcher. D. Mary Wollstonecraft. Answer: B. Emmeline Pankhurst. Emmeline Pankhurst was a prominent leader of the suffragette movement in the UK, known for her militant tactics in the struggle for women's suffrage. Question 32. What was the primary result of the Acts of Union 1707? A. The formal union of England and Ireland. B. The creation of the United Kingdom of Great Britain. C. The establishment of the Commonwealth. D. The separation of Scotland from England. Answer: B. The creation of the United Kingdom of Great Britain. The Acts of Union 1707 united the Parliaments of England and Scotland, forming the United Kingdom of Great Britain. Question 33. Which British scientist played a key role in the development of the theory of evolution? A. Isaac Newton. B. Charles Darwin. C. Stephen Hawking. D. Alexander Fleming. Answer: B. Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin is renowned for his contributions to the science of evolution, particularly through his theory of natural selection, outlined in his book On the Origin of Species. Question 34. What British documents set the precedent for legal limits on the monarchy's power? A. The Magna Carta. B. The Bill of Rights. C. The Charter of Liberties. D. The Act of Settlement. Answer. A. The Magna Carta. Signed in 1215, the Magna Carta is a landmark document that set the precedent for establishing legal limits on the monarchy's powers in England. Question 35. When did the UK join the European Economic Community? A. 1957. B. 1963. C. 1973. D. 1981. Answer. C. 1973. The UK joined the European Economic Community, now known as the European Union, in 1973. Question 36. Who is considered the father of the British Navy? A. Sir Francis Drake. B. Horatio Nelson. C. King Henry VIII. D. King Charles II. Answer. C. King Henry VIII. King Henry VIII is often considered the father of the British Navy due to his extensive investment in the Navy and his establishment of a permanent naval administration. Question 37. What was the significance of the Bill of Rights of 1689? A. It abolished the monarchy. B. It affirmed the rights of Parliament over the monarchy. C. It granted universal suffrage. D. It established the Church of England. Answer. B. It affirmed the rights of Parliament over the monarchy. The Bill of Rights of 1689 was significant as it set out certain rights of Parliament and the limits of the monarch's power, further establishing the principle of constitutional monarchy. Question 38. What famous British naval victory occurred during the Napoleonic Wars? A. The Battle of Trafalgar. B. The Battle of Waterloo. C. The Battle of Austerlitz. D. The Battle of the Nile. Answer. A. The Battle of Trafalgar. The Battle of Trafalgar in 1805 was a pivotal naval victory during the Napoleonic Wars, significantly enhancing British naval supremacy. Question 39. What year did women over the age of 21 gain the right to vote in the UK? A. 1918. B. 1928. C. 1938. D. 1948. Answer. B. 1928. Women over the age of 21 gained the right to vote in the UK in 1928, following earlier legislation in 1918 that granted suffrage to women over 30. Question 40. What was the major political change in the UK in 1997? A. The introduction of the euro. B. The election of the first Labour government since 1979. C. The signing of the Good Friday Agreement. D. The establishment of the Scottish Parliament. Answer. D. The establishment of the Scottish Parliament. One of the major political changes in 1997 was the establishment of the Scottish Parliament, which marked a significant development in the devolution of powers within the UK. Question 41. What was the principal conflict of the Wars of the Roses? A. Between the houses of Lancaster and York for the English throne. B. Between England and France over territorial claims. C. Between the peasants and the nobility over land rights. D. Between the monarchy and the church over religious reforms. Answer. A. Between the houses of Lancaster and York for the English throne. The Wars of the Roses were a series of civil wars fought in the 15th century between the houses of Lancaster and York, both competing branches of the royal house of Plantagenet. Question 42. What is considered the first British novel and who wrote it? A. Robinson Crusoe by Daniel Defoe. B. Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. C. Gulliver's Travels by Jonathan Swift. D. Moll Flanders by Daniel Defoe. Answer: A. Robinson Crusoe by Daniel Defoe. Often considered the first novel in English, Robinson Crusoe by Daniel Defoe, published in 1719, is a fictional autobiography of the title character, a castaway who spends years on a remote tropical island. Question 43. How did the Enclosure Acts affect British agriculture? A. They decreased the amount of available farmland. B. They led to the commercialization and modernization of agriculture. C. They promoted shared farming practices. D. They banned the use of modern farming equipment. Answer: B. They led to the commercialization and modernization of agriculture. The Enclosure Acts, passed in England during the 18th and 19th centuries, consolidated fragmented lands into individual holdings, leading to increased efficiency and the commercialization of agriculture. Question 44. Who was the British monarch during the American Declaration of Independence? A. King George III. B. King George II. C. Queen Victoria. D. King Edward III. Answer: A. King George III. King George III was the monarch during the American Declaration of Independence in 1776, a period marked by rising tension and conflict between Britain and its American colonies. Question 45. What landmark legal reform was implemented by the Factory Act of 1833? A. It prohibited child labour. B. It established the 8-hour workday. C. It introduced safety standards in factories. D. It regulated the conditions of work in factories, particularly for children and adolescents. Answer: D. It regulated the conditions of work in factories, particularly for children and adolescents. The Factory Act of 1833 was a major step in improving labour conditions, limiting the working hours for children and requiring factory inspections. Question 46. What was the Beveridge Report and how did it impact British society? A. A report on education reform that led to mandatory schooling. B. A document outlining social welfare reforms leading to the creation of the NHS and modern social welfare. C. A military review that restructured the British armed forces. D. A financial assessment that led to the overhaul of the British tax system. Answer: B. A document outlining social welfare reforms leading to the creation of the NHS and modern social welfare. The Beveridge Report, published in 1942, outlined a comprehensive system of social insurance covering areas like health, unemployment, education and pensions, laying the groundwork for the modern British welfare state. Question 47. What major event in 1989 impacted British political policies towards Europe? A. The signing of the Maastricht Treaty. B. The fall of the Berlin Wall. C. The introduction of the euro. D. The ratification of the European Union Constitution. Answer: B. The fall of the Berlin Wall. The fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989 marked a significant geopolitical shift that impacted European integration and British political policies towards Europe, promoting closer cooperation and the expansion of the European community. Question 48. Which treaty confirmed the independence of the Republic of Ireland from the UK? A. The Good Friday Agreement. B. The Anglo-Irish Treaty. C. The Dublin Declaration. D. The Treaty of Lisbon. Answer B. The Anglo-Irish Treaty. The Anglo-Irish Treaty, signed in 1921, ended the Irish War of Independence and provided for the establishment of the Irish Free State, which later became the Republic of Ireland, confirming its independence from the United Kingdom. Question 49. Who was the only British Prime Minister to be assassinated? A. Margaret Thatcher. B. Winston Churchill. C. Spencer Perceval. D. Tony Blair. Answer C. Spencer Perceval. Spencer Perceval is the only British Prime Minister to have been assassinated. He was killed in 1812 in the lobby of the House of Commons. Question 50. What event triggered the formation of the United Kingdom in 1801? A. The Act of Settlement. B. The Acts of Union. C. The Magna Carta. D. The Glorious Revolution. Answer B. The Acts of Union. The Acts of Union in 1800, which took effect on January 1, 1801, united the kingdoms of Great Britain and Ireland to form the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland. Question 51. When was the Battle of Bannockburn, and why is it significant? A. 1314. It was a significant Scottish victory in the First War of Scottish Independence. B. 1415. It marked the end of the Wars of the Roses. C. 1513. It was the largest battle fought between Scotland and England. D. 1611. It was the last battle fought on British soil. Answer A. 1314. It was a significant Scottish victory in the First War of Scottish Independence. The Battle of Bannockburn in 1314 was a pivotal Scottish victory under Robert the Bruce against England, significantly advancing the Scottish struggle for independence. Question 52. What were the Corn Laws, and what impact did their repeal have? A. Laws that regulated grain prices, whose repeal in 1846 led to protests and economic turmoil. B. Laws that restricted the import of corn, whose repeal in 1846 led to expansion of free trade. C. Laws that imposed taxes on corn exports, whose repeal led to agricultural decline. D. Laws that mandated corn as a staple food, whose repeal led to dietary changes. Answer B. Laws that restricted the import of corn, whose repeal in 1846 led to expansion of free trade. The Corn Laws were tariffs and other trade restrictions on imported grain enforced in Great Britain between 1815 and 1846. Their repeal marked a significant move towards free trade. Question 53. Who was the Prime Minister during the formation of the welfare state? A. Winston Churchill. B. Clement Attlee. C. Margaret Thatcher. D. Tony Blair. Answer B. Clement Attlee. Clement Attlee was the Prime Minister who oversaw the formation of the welfare state in the UK, including the establishment of the National Health Service following World War II. Question 54. What is the Victoria Cross, and for what is it awarded? A. A medal awarded for acts of bravery by British civilians. B. The highest military decoration awarded for valour in the face of the enemy to members of the armed forces. C. A royal award given for excellence in arts and sciences. D. A parliamentary honour awarded for long service. Answer B. The highest military decoration awarded for valour in the face of the enemy to members of the armed forces. The Victoria Cross is the highest and most prestigious award of the British honours system. Question 55. How did the Chartist movement influence British politics? A. It led to the immediate granting of voting rights to all men. B. It contributed to the development of parliamentary democracy and extended electoral reforms. C. It caused the temporary suspension of the British monarchy. D. It resulted in the abolition of the House of Lords. Answer. B. It contributed to the development of parliamentary democracy and extended electoral reforms. The Chartist movement, a working-class movement for political reform in Britain in the 19th century, was significant in its influence on British politics, particularly in terms of advocating for electoral reforms such as voting rights for all men. Question 56. What event in 1936 led to a constitutional crisis in the UK? A. The abdication of King Edward VIII. B. The outbreak of World War II. C. The signing of the Anglo-German Naval Agreement. D. The formation of the national government. Answer. A. The abdication of King Edward VIII. The abdication of King Edward VIII in 1936, due to his desire to marry Wallis Simpson, an American divorcee, led to a significant constitutional crisis in the UK. Question 57. What was Operation Sea Lion, and why did it fail? A. The planned German invasion of Britain during World War II, which failed due to the RAF's defence. B. A British naval operation to secure the Suez Canal, which was aborted due to international pressure. C. A covert Allied operation to assassinate Hitler, which was uncovered. D. A Soviet plan to invade Scandinavia, which was deterred by NATO. Answer. A. The planned German invasion of Britain during World War II, which failed due to the RAF's defence. Operation Sea Lion was Nazi Germany's code name for the plan to invade the United Kingdom during the Battle of Britain, which ultimately failed primarily due to the successful defence by the Royal Air Force. Question 58. Who was the first Archbishop of Canterbury, and why is he significant? A. Thomas Becket, known for his conflict with King Henry II over the rights of the Church. B. Augustine of Canterbury. He established the Church of England's organisational structure. C. George Carey. He was the first archbishop in the modern era. D. Rowan Williams, known for his modern reform policies. Answer. B. Augustine of Canterbury. He established the Church of England's organisational structure. Augustine of Canterbury, sent by Pope Gregory the Great in 597, is significant for founding the English Church and establishing its organisational structure as the first Archbishop of Canterbury. Question 59. What major social reform occurred in Britain during the 1960s? A. The decriminalisation of homosexuality. B. The introduction of the minimum wage. C. The nationalisation of major industries. D. The implementation of universal suffrage. Answer. A. The decriminalisation of homosexuality. One of the major social reforms during the 1960s in Britain was the decriminalisation of homosexual acts in private between two men, aged 21 or over, by the Sexual Offences Act of 1967. Question 60. Who were the Picts, and what role did they play in British history? A. A Gallic tribe that resisted Roman invasion. B. An Anglo-Saxon group known for their legal reforms. C. A Celtic people known for their role in resisting the Anglo-Saxon invasion of present-day Scotland. D. A Norse tribe that settled in the north of England. Answer. C. a Celtic people known for their role in resisting the Anglo-Saxon invasion of present-day Scotland. The Picts were a group of Celtic-speaking people who lived in what is today eastern and northern Scotland during the late Iron Age and early medieval periods. Question 61. What was the significance of the Anglo-Irish Treaty? A. It ended the English Civil War. B. It established Ireland as a republic independent from the UK. C. It concluded the Irish War of Independence and provided for the creation of the Irish Free State. D. It merged Ireland and England into a single political entity. Answer. C. It concluded the Irish War of Independence and provided for the creation of the Irish Free State. The Anglo-Irish Treaty, signed in 1921, significantly altered the political landscape by establishing the Irish Free State, which later became the Republic of Ireland. Question 62. What landmark did the Great Exhibition of 1851 celebrate? A. British military victories. B. The coronation of Queen Victoria. C. Innovations and achievements of the Industrial Revolution. D. The end of the Napoleonic Wars. Answer. C. Innovations and achievements of the Industrial Revolution. The Great Exhibition of 1851, held in the Crystal Palace in London, celebrated the innovations and achievements of the Industrial Revolution and the expansion of the global trade network. Question 63. Which British monarch established the Royal Greenwich Observatory and for what purpose? A. Queen Elizabeth I to enhance naval navigation. B. King Charles II to promote scientific study, particularly in astronomy and navigation. C. King Henry VIII to support military campaigns. D. Queen Victoria to symbolize British scientific advancement. Answer. B. King Charles II to promote scientific study, particularly in astronomy and navigation. King Charles II established the Royal Greenwich Observatory in 1675 primarily for the purpose of improving navigation and maritime safety through better knowledge of the positions of stars and astronomical phenomena. Question 64. What was the impact of the Black Death on medieval England? A. It led to a significant reduction in the population, resulting in economic and social changes. B. It initiated the English Renaissance. C. It caused the collapse of the feudal system overnight. D. It prompted the first English Parliamentary Assembly. Answer. A. It led to a significant reduction in the population, resulting in economic and social changes. The Black Death, which swept through England in the mid-14th century, drastically reduced the population, leading to labour shortages and significant shifts in social and economic structures. Question 65. What was the primary goal of the British East India Company? A. To colonize the eastern seaboard of North America. B. To conduct trade in spices and luxury goods from the East Indies and India. C. To establish English language and culture in India. D. To convert the Indian population to Christianity. Answer. B. To conduct trade in spices and luxury goods from the East Indies and India. The primary goal of the British East India Company, founded in 1600, was to carry out trade in the East Indies, initially focused on the Spice Islands, and it later expanded its operations to include India, playing a central role in British imperialism in the region. Question 66. Which Act of Parliament led to the partition of Ireland? A. The Home Rule Act. B. The Government of Ireland Act 1920. C. The Anglo-Irish Treaty. D. The Ireland Independence Act. Answer. B. The Government of Ireland Act 1920. This act partitioned Ireland into two separate political entities, Northern Ireland and Southern Ireland, paving the way for the eventual establishment of the Irish Free State. Question 67. Who was known as the Lady with the Lamp, and what did she accomplish? A. Queen Victoria, who founded hospitals during her reign. B. Florence Nightingale, who founded modern nursing. C. Mary Seacole, who was known for her medical contributions in the Crimean War. D. Elizabeth Fry, who reformed women's prisons. Answer. B. Florence Nightingale, who founded modern nursing. Florence Nightingale was dubbed the Lady with the Lamp for her habit of making rounds at night during the Crimean War. She is credited with founding modern nursing and implementing sanitary medical care practices. Question 68. How did the Battle of Somme impact Britain during World War I? A. It was a quick victory that boosted British morale. B. It resulted in heavy casualties, affecting public and political support for the war. C. It led to significant territorial gains for Britain. D. It marked the end of World War I. Answer. B. It resulted in heavy casualties, affecting public and political support for the war. The Battle of the Somme, one of the largest battles of World War I, resulted in over 1 million men wounded or killed, profoundly impacting British public sentiment and political support for the war effort. Question 69. What is the purpose of the royal prerogative in modern Britain? A. To grant the monarchy absolute power. B. To allow the monarch to make decisions without parliamentary approval. C. To provide the monarch ceremonial and specific legal powers. D. To oversee the daily operations of government. Answer. C. To provide the monarch ceremonial and specific legal powers. The royal prerogative includes powers such as issuing or withdrawing passports, granting honours, and appointing ministers, which are exercised by the monarch on the advice of responsible ministers. Question 70. Which English king was known as Lionheart? A. Richard I. B. Edward I. C. Henry V. D. Charles II. Answer. A. Richard I. Richard I, known as Richard the Lionheart, reigned from 1189 to 1199 and is famous for his central role in the Third Crusade, where he earned a reputation as a great military leader and warrior. Question 71. Who was the first woman to be appointed to the British cabinet? A. Margaret Thatcher. B. Margaret Bonfield. C. Nancy Astor. D. Barbara Castle. Answer. B. Margaret Bonfield. Margaret Bonfield was appointed as Minister of Labour in 1929, becoming the first woman to serve in the British cabinet. Question 72. What led to the repeal of the Stamp Act in 1766? A. Economic downturns in Britain. B. Lack of enforcement in the American colonies. C. Widespread protests and non-compliance in the American colonies. D. The introduction of a more comprehensive tax law. Answer. C. Widespread protests and non-compliance in the American colonies. The Stamp Act of 1765 was repealed in 1766 due to vehement protests and acts of non-compliance by the American colonists, which included boycotting British goods and widespread riots. Question 73. What is the significance of Hadrian's War? A. It was a defensive fortification in the Roman province of Britannia. B. It marked the boundary between England and Scotland. C. It was built to commemorate Hadrian's visit to Britain. D. It served as a trading post between the Romans and Picts. Answer A. It was a defensive fortification in the Roman province of Britannia. Hadrian's Wall was built on the orders of Emperor Hadrian in AD 122 as a defensive fortification in what is now northern England and served as the northern limit of the Roman Empire. Question 74. Who was the leader of the Great Revolt of 1381? A. Oliver Cromwell. B. Wat Tyler. C. Simon de Montfort. D. Jack Cade. Answer B. Wat Tyler. Wat Tyler was one of the leaders of the Peasants' Revolt of 1381, which was a major uprising across large parts of England, sparked by socio-economic and political tensions. Question 75. What are the legal foundations of the unwritten British Constitution? A. The Magna Carta, the Bill of Rights and Common Law. B. The Royal Charters and Declarations by the Monarch. C. Parliamentary statutes and judicial decisions. D. The decrees issued by the Prime Minister. Answer A. The Magna Carta, the Bill of Rights and Common Law. The unwritten British Constitution is grounded on key documents like the Magna Carta and the Bill of Rights, as well as principles of common law and parliamentary statutes.